start recording. And Dr. Lamb, when you get through, you can just make me the host again, and then
I'll do it.
But welcome to our last Thursday evening coaching session for a while. Thank you for being here. I've talked with the staff and talked with Dr. Lamb, and we've made a decision that after Dr. Lamb presents, we're going to see if you've got a question from us, but we're not going to present anything else tonight other than what Dr. Lamb is presenting. You've got a lot to do with task 3, and we don't want to confuse you with going into something else at this point until we know that you are comfortable with what you're doing with task 3, and we'll take care of that on Tuesday evening. But Dr. Lamb, I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Dr. Stedman. Tonight I'm going to cover task string, and so let me go to Blackboard and point out one thing. These should be in there is a short video that I made that goes here that says how to set up your competency folio. We'll also have tonight's video. So if you don't want to have to wade through 20 or 30 minutes worth, I think this is 4 minutes or less, where you can watch the video, but I'm going to cover on setting up the competency folio tonight. So to access TaskStream, you need to go to Chrome. Do not attempt to use Internet Edge or Internet Explorer or any of those products. You need to use Google or Google Chrome, or you can use Mozilla Firefox. Again, TaskStream is not compatible with Microsoft Edge or Microsoft Internet Explorer. You've got an older version of that. It is not compatible. It won't work. It'll give you problems, and then you'll call me and I'll say bad things. So let's start off with, make sure you use Chrome or Mozilla. I'm using Chrome tonight, and it's just www.taskstream.com. And it will open up, and you can see again, Watermark is the parent company for TaskStream. And so when you get to this sign-in screen, you say, well, this is not TaskStream, am I in the wrong place? No, you're in the right place. Just remember, Watermark is the parent company for TaskStream. And just click the sign in. And you have a username. We're going to go to TaskStream. You see the Watermark products down here at the bottom. We're going to click on TaskStream because that's the one we want. It's going to give you your sign in, and it will remember it. You use your username and password that's been assigned to you when you establish your account. If you have not established your account, you need to make sure you do, because an account was bought for all of you. I have registered you in all the places you need to be and have done all those things. And so you need to make sure that you access your account. Now that link will have expired by now because it came out last weekend. But if it doesn't work, again, don't email me. Email W. Turbyfield, Wendy Turbyfield, and it says so when you sign in or when you get to TaskStream. It says if you have any issues or problem, get in touch with Wendy Turbyfield. The problem is you have to have the username and password to get to this screen, and this is where. So I don't know why the help screen is not one before this, but this is the lady's name. W. Turbyfield at Gardner Webb. She is the person who establishes your accounts. If there's a problem with your account, I do that. I do all the technical piece. She simply buys the accounts. Now, once you get there, you're not going to have all these different buttons here as to what your role is. You're simply going to be an author. And so I'm going to switch over to that. And I'm going to go down to School Administration Add-on. Now, this is for the MELS folks too. Yours will be MELS Spring 22. Let's see where that one would be. Right there. This is for the folks in 601 regular with Dr. Church. And this is for the folks that are in with Dr. Stedman, Dr. Revis, Dr. Hamilton, and Dr. Crawford. You are School Administration Add-on Spring 22. Please remember that. This is the add-on, folks. And this one is this. You will only have one, but you will click on your DRF program. And when you do, this is already set up for you that looks just like this. And it has everything by course for what is you're responsible for in TaskStream. So as you can see, for you add-on folks this semester, you're responsible for the APSEL, the APTEL, your competency analysis when you have completed both of these, and then your School of Ed dispositions. Now, you can do your School of Ed dispositions anytime you'd like to do them this semester. Whenever you feel froggy, you can just leave. So when you click on that button, it says complete this form as a part of this requirement. You 601 masters people, the only difference in your DRF, you'll just have APSEL and then competency analysis and School of Ed dispositions. You won't have the APTEL. And it asks you to rate yourself in each of these dispositional behaviors. Now, here's the rule of thumb. You can mark yourself anywhere that you would like to. Unsatisfactory, needs improvement, meets expectations, or exceeds. However, if you mark yourself exceeds, we're required to make you tell us down here in this box, using the state executive standards for principals, why you believe that you exceed expectation in learner development. Now, if you choose to mark yourself exceeds and then submit it that way without any documentation, then I'm going to be obliged to not give you those exceeds, and I'm going to have to give you needs improvement because you couldn't follow directions. So again, you can mark yourself at any of these three. If you mark yourself unsatisfactory, needs improvement, or meets, you don't have to tell us anything. You just mark us and you go on about your business. Now, if you truly believe you exceed expectation, using the 8 North Carolina executive standards and the South Carolina executive standards, you must tell us what you have done that would lead you to believe that you exceed expectations in learner development. It's that way for learning differences, learning environments, content knowledge, application of content, assessment, planning for instruction, instructional strategies, professional learning and ethical practice, and leadership and collaboration. That would be the things that you are to assess yourself on. There's no bad score on this. There's nothing. This is for you to be a kind of a self-check to make sure that that you feel like you're progressing through the program. And when you get done, you save and return, then you have to submit your work. You hit the submit work button. There's this little thing that reminds you. So always when you upload something or take one of these at TaskStream, you have to go back and make sure that you submit your work. And when you do that, you get this that says you submitted your work and all of that. So everybody needs to do that this semester. Now, when you complete your APSEL, all of you will complete the APSEL, and for those who are an add-on, when you complete your APTEL this semester, when your coach and your instructor tell you, after you've gone through putting all the 5 tasks together into your final evidence narrative for your APSEL, you've had it checked and turn it in, and everything looks good, and they tell you submit for evaluation in TaskStream, you simply come to your work page here in TaskStream. Make sure you're on your work page. There's a number of pages here. We don't use comments, but I can't turn that off because it turns them off elsewhere where we need them. But you don't use we only submit work for evaluation here. So when you get your APSEL through, you simply click on APSEL. You click on attachments. You find your APSEL by upload from computer, make sure that it's in here. It'll take manager. I'm going to go to documents, and I'm going to see if right here. I'm going to upload my APSEL, upload and close, save and return. Are you ready to submit? Yes, I am. Submit work, and I get this that says that I have succeeded in what I have done. And then if I go over here to my scores results page, that's where I will get my scores when I have submitted this. And when I have submitted this, this is where I will get my results. It will give me my score on a scale of 1 to 4. Now, please remember, 3 and above is passing. So what will happen is if your work goes in, stop just a second. If your work goes into TaskStream, and for whatever reason, and 99% of the time, it's because you uploaded the wrong document that didn't have all 5 tasks on. But let's say that you did, something happened and yours slipped by. These experts who are training you and know exactly what the state evaluation, and let's say that they were to say, well, we don't really think that one's, we think that one's like a 2.5 or a 2.6. One time they will send it back and you'll get a notice needs revision, and they will tell you what you need to fix in that one. This happens very, very, very rarely. Probability of this happening is about the same as my hair growing back. It's not impossible. It's just improbable. And so at that point, you will get in touch with your coach will get notified as well. And you will get together and you will fix whatever is wrong with it. So you get that one opportunity, but you got to score a 3 or better. Now, if you get a 3, and before you send me an email saying, I think I'm better than that and I'd like a second, we all could do better if we had more time. That's the way life is. As I explained to my wonderful wife of 37 years, and that's the same one for 37 years, there's a time-space continuum. We can only be in one place at one time. We could all do better if there was more of us or if we had more time. And so we want you to make a 4, but if you get a 3.8 or a 3.5, you just have to suck it up and say, I'll do better next time. No, they won't let you resubmit. If you pass, you're done. They only grade it one time. They will give you one opportunity. If you've got a 2.9 or a 2.8, they'll give you one shot to resubmit and do better, but that's it. And so that only ever happens when you forget one of the tasks. Generally, that's all that happens. Otherwise, it will pass. And so whatever it is, 3, 3.5, 4, whatever, that's what you get if it's a passing grade. We want you to make 4s, but that's what you get. And so that's how you submit your APSEL, and you'll do the same thing for the APTEL. We'll talk to you later about doing your competency analysis. All you do there is simply copy and paste task 5 from the APTEL and task 4 from the APSEL. You just copy and paste that because that's where you do your competency analysis during your evidences. And so make sure that you understand. Don't go in and try to do your competency analysis now. That's for the end when you've completed both of your evidences or the evidence that you'd have to do this semester. Then you will go in and do your competency analysis because you will have already written. School of Ed dispositions, you can do whatever you want to do. Anytime you're ready to do that, again, by state design, if you think you exceed, you have to tell us why by using the state standards to explain why you think that you exceed the expectation at this point. So share screen back to task screen. And so again, we do all of our work, and don't call me and say, I can't see where to upload my stuff. It won't let me. Well, that's because you're not on the work page. If you go back to the work page, then it will let you upload things once you go back there. So again, for you folks who are in regular 601, you will simply have the APSEL and you'll have competency analysis, School of Ed disposition. Now it's that way each semester. Let me go back out now. I'm going to go to the 601 spring 22. As you can see, as I said, you have APSEL. You also have a 602 where you'll do your APSEL, and that's all you have to do. Then 603, you're back with everybody else. But again, you only have the OMA. you have 604 to do, the skip and the cap, and then at 605, you do the SIOP. And then there's some other things that you have to do in that last semester, while we only want you to have the SIOP to do when you get there, because you're going to have to finish your competency folio and then migrate it over here to this to get it evaluated. You'll have to upload your internship log. You'll take the completer survey. All that stuff will be done in your final semester. Now,
Dr. Lamb, Jonathan's got his hand raised.
okay.
Thank you, Dr. Lamb. I just typed it in. I just wanted to clarify because I saw you showing us the survey. I was like, okay, I can knock that out this weekend. Don't do that survey this weekend. Wait until I turn in my final project. Is that correct?
End of program completer survey. You can't do that until that's the last thing you can do.
What you were talking about exceeds expectations, right?
Oh, that you can do that now.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I can go ahead and do that now.
You can do that now. The only
Okay.
thing is, if you grade yourself, you read those standards, and if you're less than exceeds, you just click it and go on. If you
Okay.
think, well, I think I exceed the standard on that one, then you've got to Google North Carolina Executive Standards that we won't even get to until 605, and you've got to tell us now, using the language from 605, why you think you exceed. Now, we have some people who do that. You know, there's always some brave person in the crowd that attempts that. And I applaud your bravery, not your intelligence, but your bravery. That you think that you can, that you are there and you haven't even gone through the sequence of the coursework yet. And it's very specific language that you would have to know and how that works. And so you will do a project in 605. You will do a standards project with Dr. Stone, and then you would understand after you did that, well, yeah, I'm either there or I'm not. But now, if we've had some pretty advanced folks. But it's not really about intelligence or how many advanced degrees. It's about administrative standards. And so, if you want to mark yourself succeed, I'll certainly read your argument that you make, and then I'll have to determine in the end what we give you. I think that's
Dr. Lamb, I want to remind them too that you've got a lot to do. Listen to Dr. Lamb tonight. Don't get focused on this at this point. We're going to bring this back up with smaller chunks starting about week 6, 7, and 8, because you'll have to turn some of that in. So there will be some more focused time during your Tuesday night class. Listen to Dr. Lamb, absorb it, but don't camp out here at this point. You don't have time.
So again, if you want to go in and do your dispositions now, if you're not, if you don't have anything that you think you exceed on, it'll take you 30 seconds to do the whole thing. But don't get down in the weeds on this. As long as you get there by 605, you see right here under School of Ed dispositions, this is a continuous improvement thing. As long as you get there by 605, it's all good. But we're asking you to kind of track your own progress in semesters 1, 3, and 5. See where y'all are. And being realistic, you're probably somewhere between needs improvement and meets expectations. Very few people exceed at the beginning of the program. It's not impossible, it's just improbable again. So take that. You can do that tonight. You can do that anytime you want to. And then you upload your app cell when your professors say that it's ready to go, and they'll tell you in writing, yeah, it's ready to go, or no, you need you need to sharpen your crayon a little bit on that one. It's not quite good enough yet. And so and the same way with the AppTel. So that's what's due this semester. Now, this is a programmatic thing that we're going to now. I can't get them. Okay, I couldn't get that to mute. All right, so now when you go to TaskStream and it opens up, you won't have on all these DRFs like I have. You'll just have yours. It's either for add-on or for spring 22. Now, please remember, it's not my first day doing task stream. So you will not have a different DRF every semester. I'm smart enough to figure out how to give you one and move the adults instead of you. So you will use the same one every semester. You will not get a new one next semester like some of the other programs. So now don't send me an email that says, I have a friend that's in XYZ program at Gardner Webb and they got a new DRF this semester. Well, that's just because their program coordinator is not smart enough how to figure out not to do all that work. Don't lump me in with that bunch. You are going to get one. That's the only one you're going to get, period. Because all the stuff is there. And I simply have to move the people who work with you rather than you every semester. I understand how to do that. So you're only going to have one. That's all you're going to get, just one. You won't need a new one next semester. As you can see, you will continue to add through this for the entire time that you're in the program. Now, I said that to say this. It's the same way with the competency folio that I'm getting ready to show you how to make tonight. Now, the reason why I've made the template for it, so it'll be really easy. But the reason why I'm going to have you make it versus me make it is that you will be the owner of it and you will be able to control what we do with it at the end. Yes, you'll migrate it over to your DRF portfolio for grading, but you'll also be able to publish and share it with other folks and prospective employers. You'll be able to use it for renewal credit for digital teaching and learning competencies. There's a lot of things, a lot of use that you'll be able to get out of your competency folio if you own it. If I own it, you can't do any of that stuff. See, I own your DRF, you can't do anything with it. And I'll upload it to the state. But I'm going to teach you now how to make your competency folio that we will revisit at the end with your coach toward the end of the semester, where you will put your artifacts in. The evaluation manual for assistant principals and principals defines two terms. One is an evidence. It's a written narrative of what you did. You produce it for an evaluation purpose. That's what you're doing right now. That's the APSEL, APTEL, OMA, SCIP, CAP, and SOLVE. Those are evidences. That's in the state language. You will have to produce written evidences when you become an administrator for your evaluation. You will also have to produce artifacts. They are not produced simply for evaluation purposes. They are the byproducts of the work that you do. Now, the best ones are like screenshots, PNGs, JPEGs, which are pictures on your phone. It's agendas, it's minutes, it's video of meetings, it's pictures of meetings. Those are called artifacts. Now, in your shelf, I have defined for you where you will find all of the artifacts that will be generated through doing your evidence work, and also where you will find artifacts from doing your clinical work, your 80 hours at your school. And so now we have to have a way to categorize those, and we do it by competency. So each of the 21 executive competencies recognized worldwide has to have 3 artifacts that go with them. Artifacts are things. They are not written narratives. They are things. The school budget is an artifact for a principal. The school improvement plan is an artifact. All those things, an agenda for a meeting is an artifact. A meeting, minutes from a meeting is an artifact. Documents that you create like a report or a PowerPoint presentation is an artifact. So the competency folio is where you organize and categorize your artifacts, and you have to have 63 of those over the course of your program. Again, you're going to get one for the entire time you're in the program. Don't try to make another one next semester. We have to have them all in one place. All right, so here's how you go. When you sign in to TaskStream, you do not go into your DRF portfolio. Nay, you come to the top up here where it says folios and web pages. Now, the first time you go in, you're going to have to create a new one, and that's what you will do. So what I will do is I will create one. I have to type it in, Dell Spring 2022 again. I've already done one. create new. I click that button. And it asks me a question now. Select template category. Now, as I told you, I have already created the template. I've done all of that. And so you will click on custom templates designed by your learning community, and that would be me. And when you get that drop down menu, you will look for competencies for 21st century leaders. That is the ones that you want. And then continue. And then you get to pick what graphic you would like for the outside of yours. I'm in, what kind of mood am I in tonight? I think I'm in a butterfly mood tonight. So there it is. And so I am going to apply that graphic to the outside, and then I'm going to preview it. And that's what it's going to look like. And so that looks good to me. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back to folios and web pages. And now this time when I open it, it's just going to be sitting there waiting on me. And then you can open it and go on in. So I got to find the one from tonight. You will only have one. You can see when I do training, I have all of these. This is my training shell. It's my sandbox. Here we go. See, this is one I just made. I was in butterfly mood last time I did this as well, on the 21st. And so here it is. So when you will only have the one that you just made. When you click on it, there we go. And so you click on the first one, which is communication. And now you have a number of buttons up here, and you need to pay attention to that. It tells you got to have 3 artifacts, one from the app cell, one from the SOP, and one open-ended. So this semester you could have one from the app cell, or you could have one open-ended. I would encourage you to put a good artifact, a good picture, like a screen. The first artifact that you generated was a screenshot of the email permission from your principal to start PLC. That's your first artifact, that screenshot. You can just upload that under communication. It goes right here. I think that's communication 1. You upload here and you just simply title it email permission from my principal. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to argue that we just need it. This label on it, tell us what it is. That'd be it. Now, to upload your artifacts, please notice there are a number of different buttons here. Now, when we uploaded our evidence, it has to be a Word document. And so you just simply use the attach button, or even if it's a PDF, sometimes you could use the attachment button. That's all. So that's all I showed you how to use. Now, when you're uploading artifacts, they are different media forms, and you have to match the button to the media form. For example, if you have something that's like a PDF that is protected, and you can't open it, you're probably going to have to use text and image to upload it. If you have a PowerPoint or a Prezi, you'll have to use the slideshow button. If you have a Word document of some sort, like an agenda or minutes, you'll use the attachment button. If you have an MP4 video that's not been uploaded to YouTube, you'll have to use that button. If you have a link to a YouTube video, you will use that. Don't use any of these down here at the bottom. Just these are your options here across the top. Text and image, if you have a screen grab or if you have a picture off your camera, the image is a PNG or a JPEG. Pictures or screenshots or PDFs that are write protected, use here. PowerPoints or Prezi, Google Docs or Google Slides go here. Word documents and Excel spreadsheets, use the attachment button. MP4 videos that have not been uploaded to YouTube, use that button, and then YouTube links, use that button. And so that is how you upload your artifact, and then you will go right down the list. So for those of you who are in MEL 601 add-on with Dr. Stedman Revis, Crawford or Hamilton, you have to do all 21 this semester. Let me say that again, add on. You'll have to have an artifact for all 21 of these. That starts with communication and goes down through visionary. Now, you say, Dale, what about digital learning competencies? Those are embedded in the first 21, just like this one right here, and it tells you that. So I left this there. There's nothing to upload here. I left it there so you would get an explanation of what the digital teaching and learning competencies are. And then internship logs. At the end of each semester, you need to upload your log here, signed by your principal of your 80 hours, and let your coach check it. Please do not put it in your DRF portfolio and submit it for evaluation, because then I have to send it back after the evaluators get mad at me. You know, what are y'all doing over there that they're uploading their semester log? Your semester log goes here. When you have all of them, either at the end of the 3 at the end of the add-on program, or 5 at the end of the master's program, you put them all in your DRF and submit them for evaluation. But along the way, you just have and check every semester here. Again, there's nothing to put for digital learning. It's communication down through visionary. Now, those of you who are in 601 Masters with Dr. Church and Dr. Bullis, you will do 12 this semester, and you will do 9 next semester. You will do 8 that they designate and 4 that you choose. So you will only do half of them this semester. You'll do the other half next semester. Add-ons do all 21 this semester. When you load them in there and whatever you've done, you then request comments from your coach. When you click on this button, you select the coach. It should go straight to them. Please do not put them in one at a time and select it and request comments. You can put in any number, and then when you hit the request comment button, it will let you select which ones you want reviewed, and so that your coach only gets 1 email. But if you put 10 in there and you do this each time, they'll get 10 emails and you'll blow them up. And so you upload your competency, and I'll upload one for you here. I'm going to upload, I'll upload a spreadsheet, something simple here. Again, upload from computer, add files. I'm going to add Crystal, I'm going to add, let's see if I've got, yeah. I'm going to upload an old spreadsheet here, add files. Upload and close. Save and return. And there it is. Remember, there's no submit because we're not submitting it. We're going to then request comments. This is the last step. When you're uploading something for evaluation, the last step is submit it. If you're uploading it for comments here, and this is the only place we use comments, you then hit request comments. Tell us which one. Again, I upload the communication, continue, and then it will give you the list of people. And so it's probably going to be, we'll say that you've got Dr. Stedman. You simply click on him, continue, and he'll get a little ding on his computer, and he'll go in and look and see what you upload. And again, don't ding him every time. If you know you're going to put 5 in, you can select 5 at one time and send it to him. And that's the process. You upload your artifacts here, and he gives you. Now he's not going to say, "Oh, that's terrible," or I can't figure that out. He's just going to look at it, and what his critical eye is going to be as a prospective employer. If I got this from if somebody who was applying for a job to be my assistant principal, and I saw this, would that impress me, or would I say, "Good Lord, this person, there's something wrong with them, or this is not very high level"? So we want artifacts that will impress a prospective employer at that building level, that shows the quality of work that you can do. You know, if you're a good graphic designer and you can do good looking agendas and flyers and those kinds of things, by all means, grab those things. If you're good with technology and you can do Prizzies, or you can do, you know, all these special things where it opens up and shoots sparks and stars and all that stuff. I had a young lady in my seated class in Wilmington several years back, but she worked there in the county right above Wilmington. Dr. Hamilton will know which one it is. I am having a senior moment, but anyway, she was somewhere there about Bergal, and she could in Pender County, that is correct. And she could do those Prizzies. Oh my Lord! And when she put those things in her competency folio, people were so impressed, and they hired her. And she was, I mean, she was a quality person. I'm not saying that she shouldn't have got a job, but you know, something quite, I know that sounds immaterial and quite oversimplistic, but folks, you never know what to grab somebody to get you that opportunity, to get you that break that you need to get started. And use this competency folio as that thing, as those artifacts that grab people. We have way too many of our folks who will wait to the very end and they just stick something in there. And then when it comes time to interview for jobs, they say, well, I don't really want anybody to see that. And you lose that edge. You lose that advantage that you get by doing this and doing it at Gardner Webb, and for me, setting it up where you can have ownership of it. Let me go back, and that's the last piece I want to share with you on this tonight, is when you get this thing completed, you notice up here in the corner, there's a button that says Publish Share. It will let you create a printable PDF of it. You can email this web folio to prospective employers, and you can have a link to it. And so just like I saved this one, actually was on Zoom with Anara yesterday. She, Anara Henderson, that we use hers as the example of an easy one. Anara is assistant principal in Gaston County, and she's been picked for the accelerated principal where she gets in and she gets a principalship just here in a few months. We're real proud of Anara. She's been nominated for that, A-N-A-R-A-H. And so, she just, you can share a link with somebody, and when you click on that link, it'll take you straight to that competency folio and look how nice this looks. And you know, we have people who do some really neat graphics and colors and all that things on these things. Y'all know how to do that better than me. But I mean, it's simply, you know, Anara went above and beyond. This is more narrative than you need, but she was explaining what each of these, and you can see there's 2 documents and a video here, and you just work through, and she highlighted the digital learning competencies, the ones that were required. She highlighted those because, again, you can take your transcript and a link to this, and you can get your renewal credits for digital teaching and learning, which will save you a bunch of money if you have highlighted those as you do that, if you put those in. So that's TaskStream. The DRF portfolio is already created for you. All you have to do is go in this semester and upload your AppTel and or AppTel, do your competency analysis the very last week or 2 of class. Once you've finished all of your evidences, and then at any point you want to, yes, you'll have some time after the AppTel to work on this. Absolutely, that's the whole notion. And so, and then you can do your School of Ed dispositions anytime. And again, it's a minute or 2 to do that. Then you need to create your competency folio. You won't need it until after you have completed your first evidence. You really don't need it until after the second one. You can wait till then and upload your artifacts if you want to. But try to get stuff. Don't get in a hurry. Get good stuff. And again, you got to have 3 for each of those 21, but you can have more than 3. You can have 4 or 5 or 6. But I would focus on quality over quantity on my artifacts. like handwritten notes and things, pictures of handwritten notes and stuff like that. Not very impressive. Just Word documents of things, not very impressive. Go for the visual appeal here on that deal. Now, you all are of a younger generation than me, and that's a lot more. But even I understand, and even I am attracted to the visually appealing, the things that grab me. But especially folks, in the business who are a generation or two behind me, that's a lot more relevant than it would be to my generation. But since I've stayed current with all the technology, it even grabs me, and not much grabs me anymore, but it even grabs me. Make it visually appealing. Use it to your advantage. And so that's how we'll do those. Your DRF portfolio is for your evidence work, no comments, just upload and get evaluated. Your competency folio is all about comments, and then we'll migrate it at the end of your program. There'll be a video in 605 how to upload it for evaluation, how to migrate it over to your DRF portfolio. So that's TaskStream. If you can't get into TaskStream, again, that would be Ms. Turbyfield who buys the accounts. If you have problem understanding how to make it work, that would be me. But I have you all in sections. I have your classes already, as you saw, they're already there. I will each semester, so this semester, the folks that are working with you have access to all of your things in TaskStream. Now, next semester, when you have a different group, this semester's group will go away and they will magically appear, so that you don't have to have a new DRF next semester. You just roll right through the program, and I just changed the instructors rather than you. So you won't have to do this every time. I've already made your DRF. You'll make your competency folio. You're done with that kind of stuff. You just get to add stuff to it and make it individualize it, make it your own, make it yours. Questions you have for me? My 45 minutes are up. Have somebody gone through the chat to make sure we've answered all the questions in the chat tonight? All right.
I think so, Dr. Lamb, but I just want to make sure. Did we answer all the questions in the chat for everybody?
There's anybody?
I have a question too.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, real quick. I know you said that competency folio will own it, correct? We own that, so there's no like deadline. So say if we get a job, I don't know, a year from now, we can still always access it.
As long as your
Yeah.
as long as your account is active, you will own it, and I will teach you in the end how you will be able to save it forever, even if your account expires. I will do that at the end on how you can do it. I mean, just like Anera, that's what she has done. We sent it a certain way, just like hers, and Anera finished in 2019. Her account's been inactive for years, but it still links back to our account. And so I will show you how to do that in the end. So yeah, it will always be yours.
So can she still go in and update her information, like artifacts, if she wants to?
No, she would have to have an active account to do that.
Okay.
She would have to, but that's a great, now, who was it telling us last semester that they had figured out a way they could export that thing and they could continue to use it and build on it? They had done something, I forget now. Somebody told us that, and continually updated it and could kind of keep it as a, kind of like a video scrapbook of their career.
That's what I was thinking about, like a portfolio that you can keep with you, but there should be a way.
Yes. Yeah, there is. There was a person. Yeah. Again, you won't be able to do it through TaskStream, but you will be able. There's a video editor that will allow you to do that. It will. Okay. You can go into TaskStream until your account runs out. Now, if you want to buy or renew an account, to keep it active for years at a time. They're not that expensive. They'll let you buy like a 5-year license for $150. So that's like $30 a year. You could do that with TaskStream. They'd love to sell you that so that
Okay.
you can keep it alive. Or you can download it in a video editor and do whatever you want to for free as long as you got the video editor. But yes, it's a good thing. It's a good start. And, you know, and we've had some people who've gone back in and who have downloaded their artifacts out of it into another media at the end that wasn't a membership media, and they could keep it up on their own. It's a good idea to keep a video like this, to keep a video scrapbook of your career. It's an excellent idea. Even when you get your job as principal, it's an excellent idea to do this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Lamb, I
Next
think
question.
someone asked, everybody should have gotten their message from Watermark by now. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Is-
yeah.
My question, because
Is there
Not.
somebody that did not get their,
Miss Turbyfield, W. Turbyfield, WTURBYFILL at Gardner Webb. She'll have to
Well,
renew your link.
I'm wondering, is it because I received my master's from Garden Web? Like, can I just like go to the old Taskmark account that I had, or TaskStream account that I
You
had?
they just renewed your account and I put the new DRF in it. I know this Miss Artist. Yeah,
Yes,
they just
Okay.
revived your account.
so I didn't.
And so if you need your username and password, I sent you an email Friday, by the way,
Oh,
that said, get in touch with her and she'd get you your username and password. We had 4 people who had previous accounts and I sent them an email and said, if you don't remember your username and password from past times, Ms. Turbyfield can retrieve that for you. Now, when you go in, you're still going to have that old DRF that you had, whether it was MTLCI or MAIT or whatever. You're still going to have it, but you're going to have a brand new one that says, you know, either school administration add-on or Mel's fall 20 or spring 22 for the master's, or say school administration. But yeah, email her and she will give you your username and password.
okay, Jamie, did you get your question answered? Jamie Crisco.
Yep.
Yes, I did. I just
Okay,
typed it
got
in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank
Okay.
you, Jamie. And so Jamie had one and you just sent, and they'll just email it back to you. Now, understand, Miss Turbyfield doesn't work at night like we do. She works from 9 to 5 or 9 to 4. So you can't be firing off stuff in the middle of the night to her. She's normal people. They don't work the hours that we do. They work the first shift. We work the second shift. And so,
We work 3 shifts, Dale.
yeah, that's about the way it works. But but she'll be back in the office at 9 in the morning, or she'll be online, whether she's physically in the office or not. She'll be online after 9. So shoot her an email. She will comply. But yes, everybody in all the classes, I know that's happened because I was able to register you and put you in the DRF and put you in a portfolio. So I know everybody has had an email sent, everybody's been registered. I have to wait until they do that to do what I do. I can build the DRFs and the folios and do all that other stuff and put all the faculty in, but I have to wait till she actually physically buys your account and turns it on before I can put you in. So I know that's been done. That's why we wait to the 4th week when all that's been done. But I do the other stuff way ahead of time. I don't have time this time of year. It's pretty involved to build this stuff. I don't have the time, so I do that. Over the Christmas break or summer break, I build these. So it's not like you can't have an account. You have to have one, or I couldn't put you in it. All right. That's all I know, and a couple things that I didn't. We will see you, Dr. Stedman. When will you see them again? I won't see them again until later on, but when are you planning to see them again?
I think
Couple
it's,
weeks?
no, we're through until, there will be no more, sessions like this through the app. So it'll be when we start the app count.
Okay. Now, please remember, you can always get in touch with your coach and your masters folks. You can get in touch with Dr. Bullis. You can get in touch with your coach for individual sessions at any time. Please remember that. We're doing these general sessions just as a convenience for us that we get to more of you at one time. But if you're having individual issues or problems, that's what your coach is for. You shoot them an email and you can Zoom with them or email or call and talk with them on an individual basis. I mean, just having these group things is nice for, the beginning to get you up to speed on all the platforms. But if you need help with coaching, you do that individually.
And
They're available to do that.
And we'll refer you to your coach if we feel like that there's a need there as well, but we'll let you know. But everything that Dr. Lamb's talked about tonight, we will go through this over the next few weeks in small segments. He's introduced everything. As you have time, you begin looking at it, but just know that, and we're going to tell you when your first set of competencies are due for your folio. We're going to go over all of that and we're going to explain all that in detail with you. So you're not at that point to be able to do that yet.
Yeah. No.
You can go ahead and set it up. You can set it up. You're just not ready to put anything in there yet until we go over it with you. You can go ahead and set your folio up, just like you said, and have it ready. You can build it, but just don't put anything in it yet until we talk to you more.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's it.
Let me ask Dr. Lamb before we can close out. Dr. Revis, you have anything you want to say? Dr. Hamilton, Dr. Crawford?
Not unless there are some questions that anyone has on our task 3.
Yeah. Everybody, and I will say that I think with my group, and I've got the largest group of all the groups, I'm down to 3 people that will have task 2 completely cleared once I get that in. So I know, and that's probably a good representation of the other 2 classes. So you're at a good place. You're doing what we ask you to do. You've paced yourself well. You've got that in. So you're going to do well and have your stuff ready for task 3 by Sunday evening. I have no doubt about it because of what you've done since Tuesday. Okay, Rebecca, do you have a question?
Yes, for task 3, we're only presenting task 3 and we're not doing task 1 and task 2. But for my reference page, would I have like just a little reference page for task 3?
Yes, and an appendices for task 3 as well, yes. And then you'll just combine all of those at the end when we tell you to put it all together, Rebecca.
Okay, so like for my appendix, it's still going to say like appendix J. I wouldn't start over with A for task 3. Okay,
no.
right. Thank you.
And I don't really care about the appendices. If it's cumulative, that really doesn't matter. It's just that we don't want all of task 1 and all of task 2 in there with task 3. The other is okay. Your appendices and your references. If you've got a running reference and run, that's okay to put those there. That's, we're okay with that. Okay, Cindy.
I hate to beat a dead horse because last week you guys explained this so well, but for some reason my brain is blocking the information, so I've got to ask again.
Okay.
Our annotated bibliographies, I understand that we need to do them on research-based practices. Are they on a direct instruction that we can use that is not digital learning, the 5? Or are they on research-based practices to work toward our pressing need?
Okay, Dr. Revis, would you like to respond to that? Can't hear you. Dr. Revis can't hear you.
Hi, Cindy. Well, your annotated bibliography should be about solutions to your most pressing need. And that can be research-based practices. It could be, well, it should be research-based practices. It could be some programs. It could be like if you're looking at elementary reading and you find a phonics program that meets your most pressing need, it could be something like that. And then at least 3 online digital tools.
Okay, so strategies and if we programs, it can be either or.
Well,
Thank you.
a combination.
Combination.
Even better. Thank you.
Uh-huh. It's a combination. Yeah, you got it, Cindy.
The example that I always use, and I probably have already used it with this group, is let's say your most pressing need is reading fluency. You've identified that. And you do your literature review on reading fluency, and what it says that all the experts agree that phonics is the solution for people who are not native English speakers who have the problem with fluency. So it's phonics, that's what the literature review says. It's phonics will fix your reading fluency problem. Everybody agrees. Then my annotated bibliography beyond my lit review, which is of reading fluency, I found out that it's phonics is the solution. When I do my annotated bibliography, I find 6 schools or 6 studies of schools that look similar to mine, hopefully, where they use phonics and list what kind of results that they got. So that's kind of the way I look at it always, and use that one, that, here's our problem. We research that. Oh, this is a solution. Then we look at the solutions. But I always like to add, Dr. Revis explained it better than I can. But the reason why I wanted to say this is one of the things that students don't do that I wish that they would be more cognizant of is look at goodness of fit. Did this work in a school that kind of looks like yours? Or was it, too many times high school and elementary school, vice versa, they'll cite a study at some high school. Well, if that worked at that high school, well, it may not work at an elementary school. Do you have some citations from elementary schools? And a fellow that I worked with a long time ago, he brought a program to his school from a Catholic school in New England, a well-to-do school and private school in New England, and the whole success of the program depended upon mamas being able to stay at home, being stay-at-home moms. Except he tried to implement it in a school where if mama didn't work today, we don't eat tonight. None of the mamas were stay-at-home mamas. So not a very appropriate solution to the problem at his school. That's a real life example. And so when you're looking to do your annotated bibliography, there'll be a lot of stuff out there, but try to find things that where they tried this practice, treatment, fix, program, at a school that at least you could make the case that there's a good chance if it worked there that we could get it to work as well, not that it was a high school program trying to adapt to elementary or vice versa, or it was a program that worked well in an affluent upper class private school, and we're going to try it in a public low performing inner city Title I school. So be a little more intentional about picking out the programs that you highlight, or the treatments or the fixes in your annotated bibliography, because the graders will be looking for that. They'll be looking to see how relevant those things are to the problem that you have into your school. That's why you write your school profile. That's why you have your school data there. And they'll look to see, they'll say, well, this doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you try this program at this kind of school? I mean, you can't do programs in elementary school that require and not have any transportation because they can't drive to school. You can do stuff like that in high school, but you can't in elementary school. I mean, those are the kinds of things that your graders will be looking for. Is your solution practical? These things that you've come up with, will it fit? Is it practical? Does it make sense? That's what we're looking for, or that's what they're having. Again, your literature review has 3 references, and it's of the actual problem itself. The problem is reading fluency, so that's what the literature would be about. The solution from that, from the literature review, is phonics. That's what the annotated bibliography would be about, programs that use phonics to address their literacy problem. That's the way it works.
Okay,
Thank you,
Nari,
guys. That helps a lot.
thank you, Dr. Lamb. Nari, you have a question? Okay. Nari. Okay, Tracy?
This is good stuff.
I have a question with regards to the PLC portion. If we're not gonna have all of the annotated bibliography stuff ready, or you're still getting that research, and tomorrow's Friday, are we supposed to have a Zoom meeting? Like, I rushed a meeting today with mine, but are you supposed to have a Zoom meeting and then you're presenting this information in like a chart or something? Like, I'm confused exactly what we need
Tracy,
to
you can
do.
turn in your work on Sunday night, and if your meeting is going to be on Monday, then you just put us a note in there, you know, that my meeting is scheduled with my PLC on Monday.
Okay, will do.
Okay, thank you. Nari? Okay, Nari must, okay. Looks like she's trying, but okay. Rebecca?
One more question. So for the reference section that is only for task 3, do we also include the bibliography, or we don't have to because it's in the annotated bibliography? Like, do I put them in both places for reference?
Dr. Hamilton, would you like to answer that, please?
Sorry, I was reading the chat and missed it. Will you ask it again?
Yes, ma'am. For if I have a reference page just for task 3, do I also need to include the annotated bibliography within that reference?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Even though in your annotated bibliography, it will have that reference on with each one, you'll still put that down in your reference section.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As a note, please remember that at the end of each task, you're doing your references. They will slide down with each task. And so when we get to the end, and when your grader gets to the end, they're going to look at all the references you have referenced in your entire 5 tasks of your AppSell paper. If you don't, as Dr. Hamilton just pointed out, if you don't move them to the reference section and have both of them, they won't make it to the final reference page at the end, and they'll check those. And if there's stuff that's not on that list that they saw in your paper, that's one of those things they send them back to. So if you make sure that you just keep moving them down and re-alphabetize them as you add more for each task, make sure that they're all in there. Now, it will never, but here's the thing, we won't let you get to that point where the evaluator will send it back, because guess what will happen? When we do the turn it in, if it's not in that references, that will show up as that will give us a score too high, and we'll have to fix that once it goes to turn it in. So turn it in check basically is a reference check of all that stuff. It will catch plagiarism, but we rarely, one time maybe in 10 years, we've ever had a problem with that. Generally, what turn it in does is it checks your text against your reference list. That's what it does. And if they're not there, as Dr. Hamilton said, if they're not there, then it shows you get redlined, and we have to fix it. Now, if we didn't turn it in and we went to the state, that's one of the things that they would turn it back for. That would be one of those that we'd be dangerously close to bad things happening. But we will never let that happen. That's why the very last thing we do is that turn it in check. And it's basically to make sure that our text and our references match. That's all it happens. And if they don't, then it'll get redlined and we'll have to fix it.
Dr. Lamb, I was going to respond to this, but I think we need to answer. Shania asked the questions. If my need is focused on low performing students, would a tool program to enhance motivation be a good example? I knew what you were going to say. It needs to be again academic and performance based. So just keep your focus. We've
got two later evidences that you can do those in.
Right.
Absolutely. They're great.
I just wanted to hear how you would say it this time. I knew what Dr. Lamb was going to say.
This is what we're replicating here as a reminder is the Closing the Gap program that every school is required to do. It has to be academic in nature, and it can't be with volunteers. It has to be a paid staff member. When you get to be the principal of a school, every year you're required to do a local initiative, Closing the Gap program, where you disaggregate your own scores, form a team, and you go out there and you put a solution in place academically. Not a county-wide initiative, not a district-wide. Just at your school, you are tasked with doing a closing. Can't be about if we make them behave better that they'll score higher. No, that's not true. Please don't be that idiot that thinks if you put a uniform on a kid that'll make him do better academically. No, that's just kids behaving badly dressed similarly. That won't work either. If you want kids to learn more, you have to teach them more. You have to have academic initiatives that address their deficiencies. That's the way you get test scores to go up. What do they do at Jones Sausage? They make sausage. What do we do in school? We teach kids. If we want them to score better, we have to teach them more. Don't be that person that doesn't get that. I know Shanae gets that. But you really have to be very specific in this one that it's an academic fix, because again, by the state rubric, they're tasking you with replicating the Closing the Gap program in the apps. Exactly what it is. I don't have any leeway to give you on that. I mean, it won't fit the state grading rubric if you don't do it that way. And remember, these things are graded by the state graders on the state grading rubric. Gardner Webb, I had to do catalog changes today, and they said, do you have any changes to your blueprint, your rubric, your scoring? I said, I can't. The state sets those. I don't get to decide. We have to go with what they say, because in the end, they're the one that will grant you the license or not. So I hate to be so stringent about it, but we can't really deviate from the blueprint, because the state has cast the blueprint for us to follow. For example, when you get to the CAP, the fifth of your evidences, it says you will have to look at the sections of the teacher working conditions survey or Cognia that address time, facilities, resources, teacher leadership, and school leadership. Now, you can add, there's 12 sections, that's just 5. You can add more, but you can't not do those 5. I have students all the time when we get to 605 who want to pick 5 that they like. Well, again, I want my hair to grow back. You got to be adult and move on. If they say you'll use these 5, you'll use those 5. And that carries us through all of our evidences. Is we don't have a lot of leeway, and we don't have a lot of discretion to let you become creative in those things. We have to pretty much stick to what we've got. And so a motivation program might be good over in your CAP There's also a place that we could probably do that in your SIP. Definitely, we could do it in your PSYOP, but we can't. The first two, or the first one is got to be an academic program. The second one has got to be a professional growth, improving teaching up with a professional growth plan that's academic based. It can't be on, we're going to train our teachers in PBIS and that's going to be our professional. Can't be. Has to
I
be
totally
academic.
agree. I work at a local summer school and I agree with that 100%, but they're always
Yeah.
putting in programs saying, feed them Chick-fil-A and then they'll make good grades, you know, and it's.
No,
Mhm.
no, they won't. I wish it were that simple. One of the things that you're going to learn in the CAP is if your school, this is for reals, this isn't for us. If your school exceeds the state limit, the state average, or the district average on out-of-school suspensions and acts of crime and violence, either one of those, you will be required to write an addendum to your school improvement plan, a school safety plan. And so we have some folks who do managing student conduct along with the 5 identified ones of that area. But one of the things that we have to impress upon folks is make sure that the solution that you're proposing, there's actually research, it's research-based, that it actually affects what you're trying to affect. And you're exactly right. We'll do this rewards program and they'll behave better. No, not really. We'll put uniforms on them and they'll score better. No, not really. There's nothing in the literature that says that will happen. And so one of the things that we try to impress upon our students all the way through is research-based solutions to problems, not wives' tales, not I believe this, or this will do that. No, it won't. Seeing correlations or connections that don't exist. The very first function I teach in statistics for my doctoral students is heat, ice cream, and crime. Did you know that when ice cream consumption goes up, crime consumption goes up, and when they go down at the same rate, and they go up at the same rate. Ice cream consumption and crime go up and down at the same rate, and they mirror one another, but they're not correlated or associated. They're associated, each or individually are associated with a third variable called heat, but they're not correlated with each other. See, that's one of the mistakes that we make in the school business all the time. We see correlations, connections, associations that don't actually exist. Wearing a uniform, people say, well, I went to this private school and they all had uniforms on and they were so well behaved. It wasn't the uniforms that was causing them to be so well behaved or score high. We saw a connection that didn't exist: heat, ice cream, and crime. And so, but we repeat these things often enough in our business that people begin to believe them. Don't fall for that kind of stuff. Make sure that what you're doing is research-based and that A is correlated with B. And good instruction is correlated with higher student achievement, not what you wear or what you eat or some motivation program or those things. I hope that as a function throughout the school business, we've stopped having test pep rallies. We got on that kick for a while. We thought that, we could just have sorry instruction all year long, but if we had a 30-minute pep rally before the test, that would make up for a year's worth of poor instruction. It will not. Just let me go ahead and give you the answer to that one. It will not. But we got into that. There was a time when we did that was the thing. That was the common wisdom is we'll have those pep rallies before the test. Those students will score so much better. No. Again, so everything that you do in this program needs to be research-based. Good sound practice. Folks, there is no miracle here. If if you expose children to quality instruction and they're engaged, they'll do better. They'll score higher. They'll learn more. That's what it's all about. So, and when you get to the APTEL next, it's all about identifying and working to improve those teachers and making them empowered in their own classroom to be great teachers in their classroom first, and then leaders throughout your school. There's no secret to this business. It's just hard work. But you can't just hire people and send them down the room with a hail and hearty handshake and say good luck to you. And you say, well, I'll just hire great teachers. I hired one great one in my career out of college, one. And I hired probably 400, and I hired one great one out of college. You have to build them. You have to make them. There's a process to do that as well. You'll learn it during the APTEL. There's a way that you can grow young people and teachers into great teachers. It's a systematic process. There's a way to do all these things. You just have to do them. You have to learn it and employ it. And it's all research based. And so that was more answer than you wanted, but it's a good primer. It's a good reminder for us all the way through.
Thank you, Dr. Lamb. Let me answer this one last question for Jenna. Jenna, and because others may also, when you look at the example for task 3, it will show with your annotations and with it will show that person did put some graphics in there. That's okay. But the main graphics go in prompt 2 where you're getting in detail with things. So it's not wrong to have a graphic or something that's going to go with whatever you're doing, but your main graphics do go in prompt 2. So just remember that. You can have them in both, but prompt 2 requires them. Okay. Does that answer that, Jenna? Okay, I see. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Those are good questions.
Yes.
Very good questions.
Yes. Okay. Who is this now?
Nari, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now, Nari.
I'm so sorry. I was driving and yeah. Anyway, I have a question about task 3 because I think in part 2 of task 3, it said we're supposed to do the digital competencies and search for 3 different, I guess, programs. The programs that I would need, I have to get a quote for. Most of those places won't email you back. They want to talk on the phone.
You don't have to get a quote for those, Nari. You're just going to research them.
Okay.
Now, if your team were to decide that they would like for your school to purchase it, and then you would go to when you present that to your administration, and you if you said, but this is what my team would like for us to use, and this is going to cost, then you would have to get a quote.
Okay.
Or get your treasurer at your school to get a quote.
Okay, that's fine. I was just making sure because I thought I saw in the example where they had laid out the whole what the company
they did, Nari. They did lay it out, but and that was excellent what they did, but we're not requiring you to do that at this point.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I think all minds and hearts clear, as we would say in church. Okay, we will see you on Tuesday, and we look forward to that great quality work that we know that we're going to get by Sunday evening on task 3. I know you're going to do it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thank you.
Dr. Lamb, okay, I've got it on my end. Okay.
All right.